What's up, world, and welcome back to the Global Frequency. I am your host, Nefarious.
And I'm Frequency Girl.
And today we are back from the convention and back on YouTube. And we've got a special guest for you, the one and only Travis Gibb, here from Orange Cone Comics.
Well, he was here. He's not here anymore. Ah, he's back. Okay.
She just loves to kill the intro, man. Like, we can never get an intro.
No, we usually
get
an
outro.
Yeah, it's one
at this, like, it's one or the other on this show. It's never both.
Oops.
Oops. Anyway, as I was saying, we've got with us Travis Gibb from Orange Cone Comics here to tell us all about his comic book crowdfunding campaign for Granite State Punk, still live on Kickstarter. Travis, what is up? How are you doing? You are muted.
I am not muted. That is the way I entered. I always start with huge excitement and no voice. That's
so you were miming your excitement. It's a new stretch goal is when you hit X many backers, everything is mimed. I don't know. People are canceling.
It's a weird
right? Like, they're unsubscribing. I can hear them unsubscribing from the channel.
Especially with comics, it's a weird stretch goal. We will take out the lettering. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. Silent.
Hey, there's a way to do that. Art restoration services are available.
Right.
Let's say hi to the chat real quick before we get into the book. We have got Oliver656. What is up, Ollie? We're going to see you shortly in two short weeks. We're going to meet Oliver in person.
No, in 1 week.
Well, no, we've got this weekend is Segoy Pop.
Yes.
And then next week.
No, and then Monday.
Oh, shit.
Today's Monday. In 1 week, we will
be
there in person.
Face to face with
And
Oliver.
Neff will learn how to read a calendar. Maybe not.
No, that's not happening.
Who is Oliver?
Never. That's not a stretch goal.
Ollie from 656 Comics is awesome. Their comic, The Cryptidnals, was picked up by
Undead Border
Black
and
Teeth.
Yeah, Blacktooth Comics distributed Cryptidnals in stores with 656, but they've also got Undead Border, and they've got they
have a new one that's coming out, and they'll be on our show in July.
Escape or Die.
Yeah, but that's not the one that they were.
No, they've got a book coming out,
the name of it,
which has got all of their characters together in one book. So it's like Man Dog from Cryptidnals and Junkman from Escape or Die, and it's all of these characters from 656. They're a group of creators, a very awesome group of creators from Mexico, and we're gonna go down there and hang out with them and go to a book fair. And we have actually managed to get Farron Delgado to translate Mavericks into Spanish and letter it for us. So we got Spanish lettering and Spanish onomatopoeia sound effects. Yeah. And Pancho was good enough to give those a read over and make sure that they're Much appreciated, yes. And so we'll be offering Mavericks in Spanish and English when we go down to the book fair. But anyway, we're getting off the topic. We should be talking about you, but I need to finish saying hi to everyone. We have got Raiden Radio with us. Josh actually just got back from a convention, and I'm not talking about the Connecticut Star Trek II convention, Yukon Con. I'm talking about
that's a real thing.
A real convention that he was at. I think it was like his first one. So let's all give Josh a round of applause. Congratulations.
Hope it went well.
Yeah, he had both New Orleans and Eudaimonia 1 and 2 at the table. It looked really, really professional. Except for like the big old sticker plastered on his face.
Well, I don't think the sticker was there in real life.
I
mean, that's fair. If it was you, then
still walking around with like my logo on my head.
Yeah.
We've also got Will from Creators Outlet. Good to see you, Will. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Ichthus.
What is up to excellence?
And he is here to see the Travis Gibb. We've got CB Smallwood. Good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. Glad to have you back with us. And I think that's just about everybody.
No, we also have Edwin. The Ace Volume 3 is live. Acevedo.
The Ace Acevedo Bloodbone Ashcan now on Fun My Comic.
Always has a really long name that I can't put in the chats when I'm typing on my phone.
It's just Edwin Aces is usually what I call him. But yeah, it's great
avocado.
to have you guys.
I was hoping it was a live avocado. He's with a live avocado.
No, we actually have a friend who goes by Avocado Molotov.
Yeah.
Which is a dope ass name, man. Like,
he's a really good artist too.
Yeah. It's like an avocado cocktail, but it's explosive.
But that could be bad. So moving on.
Anyway,
punchy.
Let's talk about you, man. We just got back from a convention over the weekend. What were you doing?
I was being a dad. So, I need to go to Heroes, but I just went to the New Hampshire Con, Little Giant show. It's Travis No Project. It is ever too big.
Ever too big.
Oh, okay. That's true. I do like big projects. So I went there and I decided to skip it, just be a dad and be Father's Day and hang out with my kids. So I did not go to Heroes. I should have went to Heroes or Boston. I saw the guest list for Boston. I probably could have got a pro badge. I'm not joking. Like if pros were a little lackluster at Boston.
Yeah.
So
I didn't see any of them. Every time I go to a convention, it's like there are panels and there are pros that you can go see and there are celebrities. I never see anybody. I never go to any panels. I'm stuck behind the booth selling comics nonstop for all 3 days.
Yeah, there were 2 people that I snuck away. Neff let me go.
They were vendors. That's not even like
No, they were not. They were both guests.
Oh, okay, guests that had tables there that were selling books there.
Oh, well, one was selling books, one was just an art.
So technically vendors.
Well, yeah, but whatever.
Okay.
And one actually turned out to be kind of douchey. So I didn't buy anything. And then the other one, she was awesome, and I really like her stuff, and I bought some of her artwork, and she's really cool.
Yeah, we might do something about that in the future.
Don't you hate that when you meet someone who you think you vibe with because you've read their work, and then you're like, oh no, you're a prick. That sucks.
Yeah.
People say that to me. They say that to me all the time, Travis. They're like, I read that book and it was great, and you're a wow. I don't want to hang out with you at all.
I'm like, not that like they're not a big creator, but like most people probably wouldn't know their name. Like they have like a book out, but I liked it. But they just had like the regular, you could get them in the comic book shop books. And they wanted to charge like $15, $20 for each one. And they're not out of print. They're not like special. They were just like, you can, even like the newest issue, you could go to your comic book shop and pick this up for $4.99, or you could buy it here for 5 times the price.
Well, wasn't he signing them and like remarking them?
No, but that wasn't for a remark. Yes, that
was just
happening,
like in person.
But that was not.
That does not make any sense.
Yeah.
So you're selling it at weird convention table prices rather than commercial prices.
Yes.
And they don't get anything special. But if you want to sign it and remark, it's even more expensive.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No wonder.
Oh yes.
I had a guy.
We switched spots.
I had the exact same problem. I went to a con this weekend. I completely forgot. I went to a con. I actually my son went to his first wrestling show too, because there was wrestling at the con.
Oh yeah, I saw that photo. Awesome. Very cute.
But there was one guy who was, so it's a very small con, just local. And there was one guy I didn't know. And I like to hire local people. Like that's a thing I do for my Cthulhu and stuff like that. So we had a superhero book. It looked pretty cool. I was like, oh man, I buy all indie books. What do you got? I was like, I'd like your book. He's like, oh, here's where it works. You buy this, and then I give you a source book, and then I give you this other book, and then I give you a print, and it's $30. I was like, but I don't want all those things. I want your book.
Just one book, yeah.
Please.
Right. And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't make any money if I do it that way. And I was like, I make indie comics, you do. But
isn't that always the best reply? It's like, no, I do this also. Right. I know the game.
I understand how this works.
This is not how this works.
And because it's indie, you've been to a convention, right? An independent comic can cost you anywhere from $5 to $20. So I would have paid $20 for that single issue. Expensive. It's because he upped it to $30 and tried to throw on all these other things that I would have thrown away. I don't want a print of a superhero. It's a superhero in a cape too. It's not like a super like cool design. Right. It's a Superman-ish superhero. Like
superhero person.
I don't want that.
What am I going to do with that?
Yeah. And now I don't know.
I don't know if I like the book yet.
Yeah, prints, for the most part, prints don't really do it. On the other hand, the print you picked up is a phenomenal work of art.
I wish I brought it downstairs. You guys should look up Nen Chang.
Why don't you type it in?
I was going to say,
why don't you bring
find
it up?
And I will
let Travis and I converse.
And
contribute something of meaning to this conversation.
Before we even get into my books, I've got to talk about something that I got in the mail that I'm super excited about.
Oh, what did you get?
I got this, and I haven't.
Oh shit!
It's been a while since I've been in the Mavericks universe, but I got to spend a little bit of it. What I love, and I assume this is the artist, the onomatopoeias, like the big one, like the boom, are so
That's
good.
Farron.
That's Farron Delgado.
That's Farron. And you want to know a funny thing?
Oh, so your letterer did that instead of the artist?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
letterer. That's the letterer because I complained. Originally the sound effect did not look like that.
No.
And I got pissy about it, and the editor gave me gave me some shit about it, and then I was like, "But Farron, please, it doesn't look the way I want it to. Can you make it rounder? Can you make the B and the O's feel more bulbous, like they're exploding out there? Can you make that boom almost like the M, like a wave? I want to feel like it's exploding outward." And so yeah, that boom specifically was that boom was a conversation.
Yeah.
Neff always complaining.
And that sound effect on that splash page, that was also a conversation.
Yeah, no.
Originally, the Skrakow was the entire page, and I was like, we can't really see the art. I know we have to have a really awesome sound effect, but I need to see more of the art. I know we're covering some of the art anyway, and that's going to happen because of the way that it's drawn. We really didn't keep in mind the sound effect that was going to go through that page, right? Like
But
that
yes, they
figure.
do look awesome now.
But yeah, they do look good. Yeah,
No, they killed, like, it is noticeably good. So as someone who creates a lot of comics, you can tell him that you made the right call, and that I will back you up. So if you want to message him and let him know.
Oh no, he agrees. Yeah, he totally agrees. But it was
and
like
my letterer is Ringo nominated, so I know a thing about hiring good letterers. So,
Yep.
But this was so fun. I'm so excited to get
Yeah,
back.
it's fun.
I'm so excited. The colors, like what's really cool about this is, I know the color one's coming, is seeing it in the back and going, oh my God, that's going to look so good on the covers. Because you can't really tell in the front because there's just so much going on to look at. But when you see them like small in the back, you're like, oh, I'm so excited about this like Power Ranger looking Maverick group. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's done. The colors are done. We have all the print files and everything. We just decided to do the black and white because of the ink wash textures. They look really striking. And I was like, we could probably print this twice. And if we do go into a publication with a larger publisher, if we don't self-publish, if we go into distribution, bigger publishers sometimes complain about previously published material, and having the color version in the back pocket to be able to say, hey, this wasn't previously published. It's just strategically, I think it was a little bit of a intelligent.
And is this official magazine size? Can we?
Yes, you can grade that.
Yeah.
So I took yours specifically, your recommendation, and I chopped it down to the black label size so that people can get it graded. And also, yours is numbered. They're only 500.
I saw that. So. I'm actually thinking about grading it and give it back to you as a lesson.
Yay! Wilson's up made my month. Thank you, Will. We're glad that you loved it. We love you.
Yeah, I'm glad that Will liked it. I mean, honestly, it's just Mavericks is a fun series. I'm looking to get everybody enjoying and having a good time. And if I can introduce some heart and some character development, and then ultimately down the line reveal something important to you guys, like a personal philosophy or something, then sure. But right now, I just want to have fun with explosions and exciting stories and and cool shit.
I like,
and that's all this issue was. What's that?
I like your philosophy of good lettering. Your
good lettering. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you some stuff in the back room about the lettering. I don't want to say it on camera.
This book was a lot of fun.
Farron is awesome to work with.
I'm really excited to step back into the universe. It was super fun to step in. It's a
this book is just an introduction. It's just Abrams it's setting the stage. Like Abrams has this flashback of something bad that happened in the past, letting you know that he and Spectre have tension between them, and he gets called in to train up a new squad for a mission that we haven't learned anything about. Like, we don't know any of the details of this mission. We haven't been told what they're going to be doing, but he's gotta whip these guys into shape and make them work together. And I'm just kind of showing you where they're at to start. Issue 2 is all about the characters. You learn a lot more about Abrams through watching him do stuff, and you learn more about the individual characters, Ringo and Huxley and Torres, watching them interact with each other and get better.
Fun.
And it's the training montage. You know what I mean? So you get the introduction, then you get like the training and the team building, and then issue 3 starts with another really cool moment. I should shut up. We should talk about your book.
Well, no, what I was gonna say, and for those of you who are like, but what about Origins? So it's not the same team as Origins, but it relates.
Oh, these missions happen at exactly the same time. One might just be a smokescreen for the other one.
And what I would say too, if you just had this individual, if you had someone at your table who's not like a comic reader, like Origins is deeper. Like there's a lot of stuff in it. This feels like hey, you know what a Mav is? You know what Robotech is? Like the stuff that someone may not know. I think this is a way better introduction to someone because it's not super deep. Like it's just setting up the story. Obviously, it's got to get deep. I've seen your writing. I know that. I think this is a great you could definitely tell your audience, hey, do you want this one's going to be a lot
more character focused, less plot oriented. I mean, there are things that happen in the story, things that occur that develop the characters, but this should really be more fun. I had someone tell me that it reminds them a lot of Voltron, the new one on Netflix. And I stepped back and I was like, holy shit, it really does. You've got the nerdy girl, like Huxley's kind of like Pidge.
Yeah.
And you've got Torres, who's like beefy and, eats a lot. And that's kind of like, Pudge or Chunk or whatever his name is. Yeah. And then you've got Ringo, who's kind of the loudmouth showboat. And then you've got Spectre, who's the sullen sourpuss, who's like all emo and shit. And you've got the leader. I was like, oh my God, it's the archetypes. They found their way into my book. How did that happen?
But between the 3 books, between this, I actually brought them all out just to make sure. Between this and you got this, and you got the main book, you really can show, hey, we can really tell any story in this universe. We can prove it. Like which one, what kind of story you like.
We've got 3 more that are in development. The art is actually being done. We've got Dig Deep. Philia Bratukin is doing the art on that. We've got MSS where we're about to start the art with Von Randall on that. And we've got Rod Looper working on Off the Rails. And there are some other stories that are being worked on for the scripts, and then some in the wings.
Yeah.
And you may know about one of the stories that's waiting in the wings to be told. I really want to bring your story in on Origins Volume 2. That's where that story belongs. That story ties in so excellently into that into the second part of Origins. So that gives us a little bit more time to work on it, which is great because I know you're hella busy, and this is the perfect opportunity to segue into what you're hella busy with.
All the comic projects.
All the comic
all
projects.
Of them.
But specifically, let's talk about Granite State Punk.
Yeah.
Coins of Judas.
Or Coins of, well, I mean, yes, but we've talked about Coins of Judas.
I know,
right?
but there was a new issue that just came out.
I thought that was the trade.
No. Last the beginning of the month, we had an issue that came out for the Gambler, and then at the end of the month, we have another one.
Oh shit! I'm falling behind in my Travis Gibb library.
Those aren't they're on our pull list. Don't worry. We don't have. That's why I don't have to keep track. I haven't made it to the comic shop in a couple of weeks, so I haven't picked them up yet.
No, right now there's so many comics because you guys get my newsletter too, so about our summer reading lists on Orange Cone. Like it's wild.
And you have a story in Nightwolf too, right?
Yeah, that's
what I'm actually really excited for. We've worked with the Nightwolf guy. I called him the Nightwolf guy because I don't remember his name.
The artist or the writer?
The artist, not the writer. Okay. Really talented guy. Really fun to work with too. Very easy to get along with. And I know that with your background in vampires and werewolves, that story is going to be particularly good. I'm really looking forward to that. His world is, it's a little bit different, the way that he handles his werewolves, but you always preferred vampire to werewolf anyway, right? So I'm wondering what fire you bring to that.
So you haven't read Nightwolf at all? Did you get the volume 1 and 2? Did you back them?
We have I think the first volume. I have it somewhere. I think it's in the long box over there.
I have read the first floppy issue that I got of Nightwolf,
okay.
and then I read some of the trade, not all of, because you know how
I'm in the first trade as well, so I have a story in both. And my story continues from volume 1 to volume 2. And I have a word that'll get you excited about volume 2. You ready?
Yeah.
Macaulay.
Oh snap! Were lizards.
Oh my! I don't know what that means.
Were lizards. I mean, honestly, they're like were dinosaurs more than anything else. But yeah, dinosaurs.
That's kind of cool.
It is very cool. Very cool. Now I'm gonna have to start following Nightwolf. Great, thanks. Add to my summer reading list. Appreciate it.
No, we're in negotiations where I'm actually gonna do a spinoff of. So my stories are about this guy named Lucas, who is hunting down artifacts for a reason that has yet to been declared. So we did one where he grabs where he gets an angel horn, one of the horns to do revelation. So that's in volume 1 that you have, and then volume 2, there's this Macaulay that's been taking like basically claves, weapons from werewolves that continue to challenge it, and they lose. So it's
So he's got a collection of claves.
He's got a collection of claves.
Has he made a necklace out of them or something? Like wear them as decoration? That's cool. Yeah, I look forward to that. How long is it? How long are your stories in those books?
They're only 4 pages each, so it's 8 total.
Gotcha.
I want a longer Travis Gibb story. I think your
we're working on it.
really great.
I pitched it to him, and it was one of those things where kind of like you and I had a conversation, and him and I had a conversation. And then you kind of leave it be and let it happen when it happens. And then we're on a live interview, and he's like, "We're going to do this mini series with Travis." And I was like, "Oh, that's a thing. Okay, all right, cool. I'm excited about that."
Well, you get a full issue. You don't get a short. I've come to realize that in doing the anthologies that I want to do, it's really hard to limit people to short 4 pages unless they're writers like you who can effectively use the real estate to tell a complete story in such a short amount of time. It feels like a lot of other writers can't execute that, and it feels lacking. You know, it feels like there's part of the story that they want to tell that's missing because they're trying to condense it into 4 pages. So I prefer to like give them runway, you know, like give them room to breathe. So I want to do single issues, kind of, one-off, individual stories that can fit into 24 pages.
That's better for you anyways.
I can't.
That's better for you.
What did you say?
It's not important.
It's not important. Yeah, it is better for me anyways.
Well, no, it's like in general, like if I have a one shot to sell, I'm more likely to sell your thing that can bring people into your book, right?
Right. You have a one shot to sell, and I have. Right, because then that would be in that one book, and it would be like, yeah, I'm selling me and like 4 other guys. But if you have that, I mean, you could be selling that at your table. Be like, hey, I wrote this thing in Mavericks, and this is the Mavericks universe. And if you're interested, go talk to Neff. He's
table
in
AA153.
Yeah, right. In fact, there's a little QR code here. You scan it and you go over there. You get a special Travis Gibb exclusive sticker at his booth because that's how we get down, and we do cross promotion and shit. But seriously, what I want to do is I want to have each of these.
For Baltimore.
Yeah, we did do that for Baltimore. Well, what I want to do is I want to have each of these individual issues showcasing these other artists and writers be a serialized Mavericks, sorties and side missions thing that I can put out separately from the main series, like the mini series, which is going on in issues progressing, or the graphic novel, which is a storyline and it's progressing. I want to be able to just drop one shots,
And then we have another mini series that we are doing
in
conjunction
with 656. Yeah, we've got a mini series with them too. It's called Calaveras. It's Mavericks Calaveras, which is really cool.
And we'll probably talk about that while we're in Mexico.
Probably, because the first issue, I know they've been doing a lot of work on it, and I haven't checked the script that they sent at all.
I'm excited.
The last time we had a meeting about it, we went through a detailed beat sheet of the issue, and it was really strong. I was really happy with the first issue. So we'll see what happens with that. Is a lot of time. I mean, not quite to your level yet, Travis, but we're putting
We're
on our turbo
aspiring.
jets.
It sounds like it. It's
Chasing you. We want to like follow in the Travis footsteps, and you know
what you'll do is just beat me different, right? You'll be like, yes, Travis, you have tons of series, but I have a bookshelf, like whole sleeve of Mavericks. So like,
So we have a lot of books. They're just all in the Mavericks
I
universe.
did want a franchisable IP.
It's true.
That's what I wanted. Yeah, we also it was funny too, because you know I do make my focus Mavericks, but we have 2 other books at the table, and people were buying the entire table.
Yeah.
It was really exciting because it felt like they were there buying Global Frequency, not just Mavericks, and I was like, oh, that's really kind of neat. I never expected people to want all 3 of them, right? Because they're so different.
It was very fun. It was really, the convention on a whole was really great. The loadout, however, I thought we were going to live there forever. I didn't think they were ever going to let us go.
Which is so horrible because you live close by, but some people had to fly. Like,
yeah. Oh, the people behind us who we made friends with, and they were awesome. And I will look up their stuff and drop it in the chat because they're just really cool. They had like an 11.5-hour drive to do, and you weren't allowed to move your own stuff. Like you had to pack up your booth, and then you had to wait for them to come. Like we were all done in like half an hour, and we'd given them our name and our booth number, and they checked it like, okay, we'll bring you your loadout slip, and then we'll take you to the dock. 6 hours later,
just sitting there waiting,
there were people still loading out at 5 a.m.
It was pretty rough. Yeah.
See, that's where you need my wife. My wife would have like set the place on fire. They would have came to get you quick.
Oh no, Neff! Now I don't know what he did. He very calmly got it. He's like, "I'm done," because like we weren't allowed to go get our car beforehand and like go get food or anything. We couldn't leave.
Sit and wait until you're called. It's like, but give me a time to be here, and I'll go away and I'll eat some food and I'll make phone calls and I'll be back on time for when you call. No, just sit there and wait. And that was not cool.
Neff was like done, and he gets up
after the 5th hour. That was not cool with me.
Right.
Got up. He walked over. I don't know what he said. He was very calm. I saw him like gesturing, but it wasn't like angry gesturing. He was very cool, had the Neff charm going on. And then he walks back over. He's like, all right,
We're
kid,
next.
go get the car. We're next. I'm like, all right, I'm not asking questions. I'm going.
Little legs move faster. So let's talk more about you, because we've been talking about our. I mean, the thing is, like, we just got
back. With Travis, we just kind of talk.
Yeah. It's because we love each other. We're supportive of each other's business. It's not about just getting the next thing pitched. Though I do make sure I come Granite State Punk every time for you guys. I don't come every book I have, but Granite State Punk I make sure I appear.
Yeah, we love it. It's a great book. It really, or book series technically, because they're like one.
Yeah, it's a series now. Let's be honest. Here's the honest. Because I don't care anymore. It was a con for Scout, okay? So they'd print them faster, right? I didn't have to wait. It was just one shots to lie to Scouts.
Nice.
I mean,
very smart.
Know your
tips and tricks.
Know your publisher, right? Tell them what they want to hear, and then do what is best for the book, and then best for the customer. If you know that it's going to be a great series and the issues do connect, but not in an overt sort of cliffhanger through narrative way, but people are going to want to read it, then yes, sell it to them as a one shot, then sell it to them as a follow up one shot. Do what you need to do.
Just got a new backer, 179 backers.
We'll take responsibility for that because why not? So why don't you tell us about what's going down in this issue? Because I saw the covers and I was like, whoa, because there's some subject matter in this book. And I remember the last time you were on the show, you alluded to the subject matter in this issue, and so I want to give you the floor. Tell me what is going on in this issue of Granite State Punk.
We're punching Nazis. It's time. When you're telling stories about punk rock, you cannot ignore. You can't ignore that skinheads are a thing. Like skinheads, white supremacists. It's a whole genre of the music. In fact, I would argue to say anybody who's ever liked punk rock was listening to a whole bunch. Even liked one of those bands and was like, oh, this is a really good, they're killing, they're Nazis. I never liked them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whoops. I definitely don't own anything by them.
So So I really wanted to touch on that subject matter. And then, at the end of last, one shot, we, found a woman. So we're going to kind of deal with that. This book is really me showing my strength as a writer. If you grab issue 1 of Granite State Punk and you grab this issue and you read them one after another, you're going to see the similarities because I do some of the same beats because he's in a relationship again. And when you're in a relationship,
right,
you go the same beats. And we're going to see what is Zeke's problem versus what was stuff. So you may look at one a little differently after you read this one. You'd be like, oh,
that's cool.
Zeke was the problem, not maybe the girl. Maybe Zeke has to figure the shit out.
Yeah, I mean, after, if you're hanging out with enough people and they all have the same problem, maybe it's you.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to address that a little bit. He goes through girlfriend's past and he finds out one of them's a Nazi, so he has to address that. So it's a lot of fun. Really cool covers.
Sorry, it's just you don't usually hear. It's a lot of fun after and he finds out they're a Nazi. It's not usually the next sentence you expect.
It's a very different book. It's a lot of fun. If you love punk rock, we break the fourth wall a lot of times. I also go very meta in self. There we go through the various levels of Zeke. Last issue we introduced young Zeke. We now introduce the future Zeke, and we introduce that. So I play with a lot of stuff in this. There's a lot into this book. I think it's my best work. It's a lot of fun.
I agree. I said the first time I read the very first issue of Granite State, I was like, holy shit, look at Travis Wright. It's like, you watch an entertainer do entertaining things. We were just talking about this with Guy Ritchie, right? Guy Ritchie movies are great, funny, irreverent. His use of characterization and narrative voice that gets brought to life by his actors. There are hallmarks of it. They're very familiar, but at the same time, they're very distinct, right? It's just a good,
movie.
Guy Ritchie's a good, storyteller.
Yes.
And you come to see or to expect a certain thing from him, and then he does a movie like The Covenant and that blows the doors off, and you see him in an entirely different light. And that's how I felt when I read Granite State Punk by you, because I knew you from Cthulhu, right? And I knew you from those anthologies and through Voodoo Nations, and I knew you from Broke Down. So I knew you as an entertainer in that regard, even playing with those subjects. Sure, they're different subjects, but there was a certain way that you presented them. And I read Granite State and I was like, holy shit, it's an entirely different, mesmerizing side of Travis as a writer. And I really think that people need to read that to really get the full picture of Travis Gibb.
It was Granite State 1 where I realized I knew how to write comics, because there was that panel where I stopped and I go, you're bored. And I say, you're bored. And I go, you're bored because of Netflix and blah, 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 blah. And I get them back into the scene. And so many people have read it me. They're like, I was bored at that point. I was like, I know. I get the beats of a comic book. I get it now. I'm fully there. I'm fully aware. By the way, just because
you've been doing it, right?
This has been shipped out to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw people started to get theirs. I don't think we got ours yet, but we have been traveling a lot, so we have packages that we have not gone through.
we just
not even all of them.
We just picked this up off the front door, so
there are many more. There's a whole
Voodoo
box
coming too. Either it should have been there by now, or it's coming. One of the two. I don't remember.
There's a lot of stuff that is here. I don't know that it's here because I haven't checked it.
I know we have a stack of packages. We have a friend who house sits and feeds the cat and stuff for us while we're away. And they're like, how many packages? Every time I come to your house, there's more packages.
Yeah, what are all these brown boxes?
Not sorry.
No, I've been getting a lot of people being like, hey, so what did you think of the book? And I'm like, book? I got a book? I'm starting to feel like an asshole because I have all these books. I haven't been reading them. I haven't been opening them.
A big unboxing stream.
A big unboxing.
Well, no, if we do an unboxing stream, then you'll have to open them.
A giant recycling thing for all of the cardboard. We don't have room down here to unbox.
Rent a warehouse.
Yeah.
Right. We gotta learn to business and have a warehouse for all of the boxes of books that we order, not the ones that we ship. So tell me about what's on the campaign. What can we get on this campaign?
So you got some really cool stuff. I've got an amazing thing that I'll show you in a minute, but I want to show you all the covers. The covers are coming. We've got some of the best covers that I think we put together. We got the first one. So this
I love this cover.
It's so beautiful. Really, that's exactly what I wanted from the guy. I really wanted something that's kind of sweet. I don't do sexy very often, but we're in a relationship again. Let's do it. We do have not safe for work content in this book. I don't make a big deal about it on the page because I really don't want to sell it for that, but it's in it if that's something you're gonna do.
It's not there. It's not there for the NSFW. It's part of the story.
Correct. Yeah. Like all NSFWs.
That's not even NSFW.
No, he's saying
no. I'm saying in the book.
There's in the book.
I'll give you a pass on it because I'm pretty sure you know how you're using it. Like sex, drugs, and rock and roll has sex in it.
Right.
Right? Like there's the words right there.
He had sex in issue 1. It's the same stuff. It's very, very similar. Like it's his thing,
That's not the point of the book.
Correct.
We could get into the whole argument about sex in comics, and we'll do that later, I'm sure.
Right.
Let's talk about Granite State.
But yeah, so we got the 4 different covers. If you just scroll down, you can see all the covers. These are the back issues, so you can get all the old ones, all that. We've got all the pages, all the beautiful. I mean, there's some. It's pretty violent, this one, but again, beautiful art as always.
There's the sexy times.
Yeah, there's the sexy time. So, and we visit Manchester this time. So there's some stuff in Manchester. See more sexy time.
We've been
look
to
at that
Manchester.
panel. That panel's really good.
It's
going to be a little bit further down there for the covers.
Different Manchester. Kid.
No, we've been to Manchester, New Hampshire.
Oh, I was thinking Manchester.
Yes, that's where
we were there for Granite State Comic-Con, but also that's where Angela and
I was thinking Manchester, England, because I was thinking like Anarchy in the UK.
I know. We haven't.
Punk.
Correct.
And no. All right.
Not to alarm you.
Neff is going home. He's drunk. Not to alarm you, but you might be stupid.
So these are the variants. So we have 5 variants, I think. So we've got the main one. That's Mistress Mayhem. That's cover A. That's the main cover, which Patrick always kills it.
Yep.
And cover B, we just talked about that.
Favorite.
Beautiful cover. It's selling like hotcakes, so it definitely works. Cover C. So this is the first time I've ever done this. This is a page in the book. But do you not want that on your wall? Like if you were like hanging it up or putting it somewhere, it's a great cover.
He's getting his head shaved, right?
Yeah.
They're turning him into a skinhead.
Right.
Against his will. Does not seem
So
really...
then cover D, we've got, of course, Captain America. If you're going to punch Nazis, you got to punch Nazis,
With all of your punk stickers on your shield.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that.
Like, is
the
it black
hex
flag?
Pistols? Oh, I love that.
Black flag on there?
No, it's hex pistols.
Oh,
I can't see what the other one.
I get it.
Weird.
I get it. Yeah.
Putrid.
Because you're not actually
Instead of rancid. That's awesome.
Yep.
Right.
Is that a me person, the gimme gimmies?
It is a me person, the gimme gimmies.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm like, I know they're not technically punk, but Travis loves them, so that has to be.
Would people go when I do punk shows, like when people like for this comic when they go punk? So what's your favorite punk band? I was like, do you want the real one or do you want the one you want to hear? Because I have both. Like, I want to hear the real one. I was like, me personally, gimme gimmies. I'm old as fuck. I need something joyful. I need I'm over my totally angry at everything phase, so I just want to make my joyful things angry. Black flag bars. Yes, we have black flag bars all through this issue. Yeah, Young Zeke.
What I thought it was. Is that a black flag?
Yeah, that one on the cover is not black flag, but Zeke in the Young Zeke wears it throughout the issue.
Dude, Young Zeke is probably my favorite character in this series.
He's so fun. Yeah.
Like when you added him, it's like, oh shit, I didn't know there was another layer to this book that you could add. And then you brought him in and I was like, he's the perfect narrator. He is so good. Like, I need him. And then everyone needs a young, angry version of themselves, there to complain about who they've become. Be like, this isn't you. You weren't going to be this way.
It's not the one I voted for in your little poll, but that's okay. It's still a good choice.
Cool bridge. What, that?
That's a Rancid homage for Troublemaker, was the album. We decided to do, being for you guys are New England. Do you guys have the covered bridges like that? Like
I'm sure there's probably some in Connecticut, but neither one of us grew up in
Yeah,
New England.
yeah.
We were
the bridges that I grew up near don't have covers.
don't have covers.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
in New
They have
Hampshire, this is a thing. Like you can take tours of the wood covered bridges. So we decided to do that. But yeah, we did the Troublemaker homage, and I think it looks good. I think the font looks good for Rancid.
Fuck.
I'm tired. I didn't say it loud.
And then we do our normal. You know, we have all the covers and we get the medals and all that. But you want to see, and I can't believe it's not sold yet. We have a 1 of 1. You're gonna have to make me big though for me to show you. You ready?
Yeah,
it's an exclusive. Yeah.
It's a 1 of 1.
You doing it?
I'm gonna click it. You don't click it. It's my click. I clicked it.
You did.
This graded punk rock #1 for Granite State Punk. As you see, it's a 10.0.
Yeah.
Really tell.
Very
This is do not encapsulate sticky substance. So let me tell you what happened. It's very good. Punk even has a phone number on it in the back for a good time. Let me tell you the origins of this. So if you can make me small again. So we went to MegaCon and I had the whole crew, and I decided I wanted to get the lowest grade possible.
I remember this story. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So we stepped on it. We roll over a car. We rub pizza on it. We've done the whole thing. They wouldn't grade it. And it's not because of all the nasty things, believe it or not. It's because right before we brought it up, Patrick ripped off the gloss of the sticker. So it has the sticky substance on it. So the gloss on top of it is gone. That's all it is. But yeah, 1 of 1.
Sure it is. See, I thought that was like an in-world reference to like something Zeke did with the...
No.
I thought it was like a gross something, but...
My brain didn't go there. Your brain went there.
Let's spend too much time with you.
Oh,
and because it's punk rock, of course, you mentioned that this is Last Ronin size. As you see, it's supposed to be Last Ronin size. It is not the proper size for a very standard comic. Everything we could possibly do with it. Duct tape.
Defied the rules.
One. It is signed by everybody. And is signed by the CGC person. She's signed right there.
That's all. Did she think you were like crazy? Like,
so that's $350. She did not understand what we were doing. She was just like, so you're signing it, but you want me to pretend like you didn't turn in the form to get it signed? Yes. Like I don't want it. I want it said signature because they write this weird thing like signed but can't verify signature. I was like, that's what I want. I wanted to say we cannot verify the signature. I wanted all that stuff. But since I didn't get
You're the creator. Yes. Right. And yeah,
it is now it's now a work of art. So we're charging $350, and you get all the other stuff for the campaign as well. For all the other covers. So
that's dope.
That's pretty fun.
I love the
lore
irreverent, the reverence that you put into it too. Because
I thought it was going to go immediately. I'm really shocked that it's lasted this long of the campaign because I know we have fans. I know the economy's tough, but it's weird.
Honestly, that's probably what you're looking at right now. A lot of people that I know have scaled back their crowdfunding.
Yeah.
You're a reliable dude. You always fulfill. You fulfill on time. There's never a doubt that you back Travis with confidence. But I think for a lot of people, it's just the slight delay in gratification too. Like they don't want to wait.
Yeah.
If they want to spend money, they want the thing that they spent money on, which is why the sales at the convention have been so great, and the sales at the crowdfunding website over the month-long period have not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think
we outsold ourselves in 2 conventions. Then we did what in 30 days?
Wow,
crazy.
I think people like having something they can hold in their hand.
Right, that's what I mean. They like to spend the money and have the thing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to say punk too. There is a certain amount of people who just wait for the scout release. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
they just wait for the scout release. But I'll be honest, I don't even know when that scout release is. So if you do want it now, do you want to read this book? And I give you your money's worth every time. I promise you.
I'd ask you more about that, but I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position.
Go ahead. I don't care anymore.
Volkswagen. So what the hell is going on with Scout, man? I read some stuff in the news, and then I didn't hear anything else because I was like, oh, that's uncomfortable, and I'm not going to follow the story anymore.
So they pissed off a whole bunch of creators. I was not on that list, by the way. They've treated me as well as they can for publishers. So I have no reason to like ask for a removal. So that's why I've never asked. And I think that's a good statement to put out there, right? Because everyone's like, oh, they're really bad. Well, no. But I will say this, though. I have found that some creators know what they're getting into, some don't. So I knew exactly what I was getting into when I signed that contract. Or I don't think every creator does. I think they're like, I'm going to do this. They're going to sell 20,000 copies and it's going to be amazing. And that's just not the way it's going to work.
Right.
You know? So I stepped in, and they've done right by me. So they listen to everybody. They send some emails out internally, and they basically got an investor, and now they're kind of rebranding and they're putting books out, and everything's kind of delayed and stuff. I haven't really seen much from this new rebranding. You know, it's been a lot of legacy issues. If you look in previews, I don't know exactly what they're doing there, but they've got some plans. They've got some new things coming out. Like they gave me the pitch for what the trade would be for Granite Stay Punk. So
that's cool.
So Scout is by no means dead and buried. It was just a rebrand to deal with some of the fallout from the unhappy creators who I guess we're having their student loans moment, right? Like, I didn't know this was going to be what I signed up for when I signed up for what I thought it was going to be.
Well, and I will say, like, there's a percentage of that, but there's also a percentage who actually were screwed over, right? They sent multiple emails, they tried to do stuff. So I think there's a mixture of both. And I really just think they bit off more than they can chew. They published a lot of books, and then the economy went to crap, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
whoops.
That's I guess that's one of the dangers of being in the publishing industry and expanding your library so rapidly. I know Valiant is doing something. They just hired they were promoted a editor-in-chief, and one of the things that they were talking about was like this big project that they've got lined up for all of these new releases in 2024. And I'm like, but bruh, it's summer. Like half the year is over. Where are these releases?
They also partnered with Global Comics, and they're doing the new vertical. Oh, that's Vault. Sorry,
not Valiant. That's Vault.
Oh, you said Valiant. Never mind. Valiant. I heard V, and my brain is like, oh yeah, they did that thing, and I am wrong. So
actually, that's a really cool subject. I don't know. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about what Chris from Global Comics is doing with Vault Comics, the publisher?
So I know something behind the scenes, and I know something that they announced. I'm trying to separate the two in my head, so I don't get myself in trouble because I have no stuff. So tell me, no, I don't know anything. Neff, go ahead.
So it turns out that people have finally realized that webtoon format is one of the most consumed formats on the internet for digital comics. That Comixology is great and all, but no one's really using it because the real traditional comic book collectors like the traditional comics, and the online comic book collectors like reading digital comics on their tablet, but it's even easier to consume that media in a vertical scrolling format. And webtoon with its popularity, it's so dominant that there are so many series there, and they're so accessible that people have just gotten into the habit of scrolling through digital comics. So what Chris is doing with Vault is Vault has signed I think it's exclusive. These 4 particular titles, they are transforming from a left to right format to a top-down format, and there's like a pilot program for other people on the platform to get involved in to convert your comic book to a vertical scrolling webtoon style document. And I'm thrilled about that because when I was looking at doing something that could translate into a webtoon style digital comic, I was having trouble trying to figure out how I could make the print file that I'm going to print left to right work when we chop it up and make it go vertically, because it doesn't work to just take individual panels and separate them. It doesn't work. I mean, the whole eye guide, the whole point of a page, the staging in the panels, the whole way that the page is composed is for you to consume the entirety of it, not just take one panel at a time, or to put them in some sort of weird mosaic. It doesn't maintain the cohesiveness of a comic book. So for me, I was always like, I don't know how the fuck to do this, but I'm really excited because I don't have to do that work. I just have to hand him my comic book and say, go ahead, do your thing. Let's take a look at the result. And I think it's neat that Chris and Vault have teamed up to do that.
Yeah,
that's what I know.
So yes, I do know all that. I actually
now tell me the thing you're not supposed to know.
No,
we'll do that after the stream. Neff's like, all right, good night, everybody.
I also it was really interesting. So in Coins of Judas, the Gambler Part 2, I had a situation, and I don't know how they fixed it over on Global Comics, but so there's a part in the page where you have to turn the page like this, up and down, because you read it. But unlike most things where it starts from top and goes down, I want you to read from the bottom to the top. And when I was submitting it to Global Comics, I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't
know. All right, Rob Liefeld.
Well, I mean, it's a clear, like, they're fighting up a flight. They're fighting up like a tower, you know.
It's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's 8 pages of that, where they're fighting up towers. It's a lot of fun. But when you talk about it's in comics, everyone's going to figure it out really quick. You're going to look at the page. Oh, I need to be reading from the bottom. No problem. There's no dialogue or anything on it. It's just fights and stuff like that. So, but it really ruins the experience on the digital format, because digital format, the current way is bought. So I don't even know how they would do that.
That's good. That is a good point. We've been having trouble with their guided view. Because so much of the art in the first volume of Mavericks is incredibly kinetic and dynamic, and the panels aren't really
panel breaking.
There's a lot of panel breaking. There's a lot of overlapping. There's a lot of large figure that other panels are kind of mosaiced around. Right. And to do guided view, it's not just like sections, like they isolate.
I have most of it done. How to click the little things and carve out each little
but then it
word balloon. But then I don't know, I did something wrong.
And she lost it all, so we have to do it again.
It didn't work. So.
It's so hard, right? So, our friend Tyler Carpenter talks about the power of digital, and how many views and getting all that stuff.
He sure does.
And it's so frustrating, because I have these debates with him privately. I don't do it on the internet because that never works out for anybody. Just if guys don't know, debating with Tyler on the internet, even if you're his good friend like me, doesn't work out, because eventually he'll just submit to you, even though he never really submitted to you, because he will literally.
And he doesn't actually agree with you at all.
So you didn't win. You just won for the second. You talk about this. It's so frustrating, because you need to do all these things for digital to know you're going to be paid pennies on the view, and just hope that someone cares enough to buy physical. It's such a frustrating thing. And if you did just digital, there's no possible way to make it. I don't believe these webtoons are all solo creators. They're all people who just do it themselves. Right. There's no extra cost of anything. Right. Us as writers cannot just pay someone to do webtoon. By the time it would be beneficial to us, we're already poor, bro. Webtoons is kind of like an artist's thing, right? It's only for solo artists, writer-artist combo. That's it.
Well, I mean, we do have Substack, right?
We do have Substack, right?
Yeah. Screw the artists.
I make money on Substack. I don't make money on
Substack
guy. But
yeah, they just have a better platform over there on Webtoon. And honestly, I think the other thing is that there are so many ways to consume the media, and there are emerging trends in media consumption, right? And we as creators want our media consumed. So it's like, we've already figured out comics, right? We can do a physical comic. we are figuring out digital comics so that the experience of reading the digital comic is unique and unto itself the digital experience, which is different than the physical. Now we're looking at vertical scrolling. Soon it'll be like holographic projections and virtual reality comic books. And we're always the ones that are trying to figure out how to make that experience enjoyable for the reader and keep up with the new way that people are consuming media. And that's yet another problem that or challenge that we as comic book creators have to face, right? And it's like so many people are like, I just want to make comics. Well, it's not enough to make comics anymore. It's not just enough to make and promote your comics anymore. You have to innovate comics now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Kickstarter platform, if you were making 2,000 before, like if you're a $2,500 Kickstarter guy, which is very popular on Kickstarter. I know that wasn't really on Indiegogo, but that was an average person would do like a 25 thing, and then people would
you're down to a 1,000.
They're struggling. They're struggling.
Yeah, you're cutting half.
25. They're barely making it, just because the quality of the products on the platform are just better. They're just better. You have more publishers on there. I don't believe that publishers take money from indie creators. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I do believe that them being on there does lift the quality. Oh, I'm now competing against Boom. I better friggin' bring it. Like, I better figure out a better artist. You better pay that $500 for that cover instead of $250.
Invest in your brand, believe in your brand, invest in it if you want to compete. Not only do you have to invest, you also have to figure out a way to attract the consumer. And probably the best way, if you're just looking, from a capitalist perspective, is competitive price points. The biggest problem that a lot of indie creators have is we're going to sell a double-sized issue, right? 48 pages. Wow, it's 48 pages, but we're going to sell it at 5 times the price.
Right.
You can't do that. You can't sell something that's twice as big for 5 times as much. You can sell it for twice as much. You shouldn't be selling it for twice as much. You should be selling it for 50% more, right? You should be making it $7 instead of $10 if the base price is $5, because you want to be attractive and competitive to the consumer. You want to show them, hey, you could buy the single issue at the regular price from them, or you could buy the double-sized issue from me for the price and a half. You get even more value out of me. So that's just common sense capitalism, right? I don't know. I see a lot of people out there.
As you know, though, making double the issue is very expensive.
It's double the art.
Yes, it is. But it's hilarious because when you lower your price point, and I'm not by any means a convention pro, not at all. I've been doing conventions for 2.5 years now. I've found that you lower your price point, you make an incredibly, dramatically different number of sales.
Right.
So you could be not selling something at 25 that you spent $5,000 to make,
right?
Or you could be selling a lot of it at 10,
right,
and be recovering the money that you spent to make it. So I think a lot of people, there's a disconnect there. They think, well, I'm never going to make my money back if I sell it at $10. It's like, bro, you're definitely not going to make your money back if you don't sell it at 20.
Right. Yeah, my convention thing is 5, 10, 20. The trades are different, but like my floppies are.
That's the set price points.
I have a $10 tier and I have a $20 tier, and I don't care. You'll figure it out. These are the variants and stuff, and it'll probably change based on what I sell on Saturday to Sunday.
Right. Yeah, and then the last couple of hours.
Right.
It's great because you can tell people, hey, I know you're thinking about it. Come back in like the last 2 hours of the convention, because whatever we have left at the end of the convention, we might be able to cut you a really good deal. We don't want to lug all this shit home, right? And that's what you tell them, and come back and you shave a couple bucks off the top, and you've got those sales in your pocket now.
Snippet Sam says selling at cons for $5.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, no, you got to work harder, not smarter, or no, smarter and harder. I don't know. Just gotta work.
Something, whatever way that makes sense.
You got to work both. You got to work both ways. Yeah, you got to swing both ways.
You got to swing in comics. You got to swing both ways.
Just a revolving door, buddy.
Are we still bitter about Baltimore and the losing? I feel we're still bitter. I feel there's
He's setting you up for next year.
Well, we are going to be all together in Baltimore again this year,
We
right?
are.
You didn't go to Granite State. You're picking
I did not go to
Baltimore,
Granite
right?
State. No, we are Baltimore. Remember, I told you. We
Yeah.
Right,
decided
but you know how much we love you. We booked both. We didn't know where you were going to go ahead of time. We booked both.
Well, no,
So
I mean, yeah.
We're going with you. We're going to go to
Yeah,
Baltimore.
no, we're going to Baltimore. We're either gonna give our table away or get someone to.
I haven't
cover
figured it
it
out
for
yet,
us.
but we were like, let's cover the bases. Let's be in both.
I heard Granite's going to be tough with the Ninja Turtle stuff. Like it's so heavy Ninja Turtles because of the stuff. I think it's going to be really hard to compete because people fly from all over to get that Ninja Turtle stuff because it's the once in a lifetime.
So
and after Peter last year, like there's going to be even more Ninja Turtles.
So it's definitely tough to do a mech book at Granite State.
Right.
We have another book that would really appeal to the Ninja Turtle crowd.
Yeah.
And by the time Granite State rolls around, that book will be fully printed and ready to go. So I'm thinking we push that book there because it fits or suits that. I mean, we have a Ninja Panther that can shapeshift into a Panther Crow. You know what I mean? Like it just fits. Do a couple of, promotional stickers of that and just jump on the Turtles train.
Well, I know my wife needs both of you, so you guys can't separate. You got to come both.
No. We are. He wouldn't be able to. I love you. He would not be able to handle setting up or breaking down the booth.
I can't tie my shoes. Have you seen my shoes? Don't have laces on them.
We are the opposite. So I do all the setup, and then Heather then fixes it the way she needs it after. So I do all the heavy setup, however I think it needs to be. Then Heather will be like, "That doesn't look good."
Oh, he gets it.
Although I don't know if
he's got a car, he'll do just fine.
All right.
He'll do just fine.
All right.
Well, send Michael. Where did Odin help you? Was that in Baltimore or was that in?
That was Baltimore. Do you want him to come over? We could all go out drinking and get Odin shit faced and watch him sing songs. That would be great. He's got Miranda now, right? Like we could all go. Like we could go on a triple date. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. I let Odin because you guys, since you guys speak up for him, the beef was over, and I let him on my show. He was on my show.
Did he fuck up?
No, he was fine.
Good.
I complimented.
I caught a little bit of it, and he was just talking and talking and talking. And I was like, I wanted because I was watching it after the fact, but if I was like, I wish it was live because I would just type "Shut up, Odin" in the chat. It would have been fine. But man, yeah, he was jawing. It's fun though, man. He's a lot of fun. I like talking to Odin. I like talking to you. It's cool having friends who sometimes have animosity or tension between them because then you feel like the bridge and it's like, oh, we can all get along when I'm here.
He fixes $10 pricing, so I mean, you don't charge $10 for shipping. We don't have beef.
Yeah, Travis, that's been my big push is get it down to 7. Get it down to 5. Get it down whatever you can. $10 is unacceptable. But
he
Vertical Blast is set $10 as the standard price for shipping. So everyone who's using RJ is doing $10 shipping regardless, and that is now the standard MO for everyone who isn't doing their own fulfillment. So we've got an uphill battle against $10 price points for shipping.
I'll fight it to my death. To my death.
I'll be right there with you, but it won't matter because
the can charge $10, and I'm going to still tell you it's too much.
the postage, yeah, they could up it to be $10. I'm not paying that.
I mean, it does keep creeping up there.
It is, yeah, it is creeping up.
Like what, 8 something now if you're doing regular.
Yeah, if you're going.
Well, the ground. There's a new ground media. That's almost the same as media mail. It's not that much more. It's only 50, 75 cents more, on an average.
Yeah.
Comment.
I mean, the national average, if you take the super farthest and the regular, it's 8 1/4. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's 7 3/4. It's around $8. I have that number in my head. So, but I could be wrong.
Did we talk enough about Granite State? We didn't talk.
It is an excellent book. State. Back it. Buy it. Get it.
Back it. Yeah, we're only one. We got 7 days left, so back it.
How short is it?
Just over 800.
Okay, we can do that. In a week, you can do $800. No problem.
Oh, yeah,
we're almost 180 backers, right?
Let's get it back on screen. I thought it was a little out of practice. Sorry, guys. We've been a little busy. Haven't been streaming as much.
Haven't been streaming.
Well, last week we had the con crud from Pittsburgh. So we didn't actually go to Dallas because
we missed
were
Dallas
sick.
entirely. Yeah, I was very upset because I was supposed to hang out with
not saying
with Sean Patrick Murphy.
No, Sean Gordon.
Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Whenever I say his name.
Yeah, we were going to the Zorro party. We were going to be at the Zorro party. But she can't say Sean Gordon Murphy.
I always want to say Sean Gordon or Sean Godden.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about like I don't know. Yeah, I'm stupid.
It's not to alarm you.
Not to alarm. That's our new thing.
But it might be stupid.
Not to alarm you, but it might be stupid.
Yeah, we were going to go there to the massive party with Sean Gordon Murphy for Zorro, but we punked out because we were sick and didn't want to fly. Yeah,
not the cool kind of punk. The like snotty.
Didn't want to fly on a plane with illness.
Yeah, no, I also had like a raging ear infection that set off my vertigo, so I couldn't even like walk in a straight line, and I was not flying with an ear infection. Not happening. Sorry, I'm a wuss. Wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I
flying in general.
I heard there was also some drama like there, so I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is it James O'Barr? That's the Crow guy, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, he did a cover, and like people were pawning it off as a Crow cover. That wasn't a real Crow cover. Like he did a cover for somebody else that kind of looked like the Crow. So wild stuff.
There wasn't a knife fight though, and nobody threw a chair, so Ned didn't make the news.
Neff is all disappointed now.
Yeah, I wanted to see James O'Barr throw a chair at someone. That'd be great. But he's still got it. Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that happens that I'm just completely blissfully unaware of most of the time. I haven't been spending a lot of time on social media. I've been in my own little world with my head down working. And I pop it up from time to time just to kind of check in and say hi to people. And they're like, bro, did you hear? And it's like this long ass thing, of wait, all this shit has happened. And yeah, I had no idea. So somebody's lying about a James O'Barr cover and selling it probably at a highly inflated price, claiming that it's a Crow cover. That's a big scandal, right?
Scandalous.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked, and I admit, like, I thought that this was okay until someone pointed out, well, like, people would get sketches, like, you get, like, the head sketch and then they make it a cover. Like, I always thought that was okay until someone was like, no, they won't.
No, it's not. You have to ask.
Yeah,
and they have to be okay. And there's a
commercial
price to it. Yeah, exactly.
I was like, that makes sense. But literally, that was early, like, year one. That was my plan. I was like, I could just get sketch covers, pay $100 for a sketch, and all these guys are doing covers.
As a cover. I'll have like the most amazing covers with these awesome artists. Yeah,
I like that one. That's a good cover.
That's
it's the previous issue
from the cover.
Yep.
Because we have all the Granite States. It is seriously though. I mean, we love all of your stuff, but
particularly
Granite State Punk is, I think, some of your best work.
I think it is, period.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I agree.
It's always nice to have something that you can point to and say, this is my best work, or people say this is my best work, because then there's definitely a thing to be,
Well, and it's all
some of my best work. Oh yeah. Well, what's the rest of it?
Yeah. I know that people love Cthulhu and I know it has a thing, but I'm always stealing from someone, right? And that, like, I'm stealing from H.P. Lovecraft and C.L. Lewis.
In this, you're stealing from your childhood, right?
Right.
But it's entirely
it's your childhood, so it's
okay. It's all you.
And I love the people who are like, he kind of looks like Constantine. I was like, yeah, but he's not Constantine. Please read it. Constantine
you'll see.
He's equipped and able to handle shit. This guy is not.
That is not Zeke.
He's the exact opposite of Constantine.
Yeah.
But it's great that you could have a hero that or at least a protagonist. I'd call Zika. I would call him at times a hero. He wants to be heroic. He also doesn't want to be heroic. No, he's the protagonist. We'll stay with that.
Yeah.
It's cool to have a protagonist that struggles, right? And that he's very fallible. And his faults are what you're watching, what you're experiencing. You're not with him for his highs, you're with him because of his lows.
Yeah, someone recently talked to me about Granite State Punk and they were really touched by it, and they said some stuff to me that I didn't realize that I was doing, but he's like, you really tackle masculinity and like us trying to be vulnerable, but not being able to accept being vulnerable, like especially with like young Zeke and stuff like that. Like, all right, you're vulnerable. This kicks in to make sure you're not, right? Like all these things when we deal with masculinity, which is true masculinity, right? We say one thing, we act one thing. Our brains are completely in a different hemisphere, right? You talk about those dads. My dad never really spoke, but I had this one intimate conversation. Well, that one intimate conversation means he must have been thinking about that shit all the time. Right? He just never spoke it to you because of society and what stuff. So I really feel like I really tackled that stuff in this book in a fun way. But I think that you can you can be vulnerable, you can be deep, but also be masculine, which I think it's kind of makes this work.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, back.
Sorry, I'm zoning out thinking about how Travis was talking about masculinity, and of course, every time someone brings up masculinity, I go back into my senior thesis, and Fight Club and American Psycho, and then I started looking at Zeke, and I'm like, I see how he fits into that, and then him bringing up like the little Zeke, who steps into the picture to try and offset or to challenge this part of him that becomes vulnerable. It's like, oh, so it's a whole new light on Tyler Durden. It's a projection that is created to challenge the Ed Norton side, to become more of a complete person, to force him to metamorphosize in a positive way by embodying every negative thing that is rebelling against society and crystallizing these negative impulses. But then it gets completely out of hand because everyone has negative impulses and everyone's bad behavior just gets away from them. And then he realizes once he does attain the mature perspective, the more, masculine perspective, the wise perspective, the thing that he has created, that bastard spawn, literally his child, is gone completely off the rails and he can't control it. It's just an interesting, I'm sorry, I zoned out. My brain started.
No, I think you really dig this issue. We deal with 4 aspects of Zeke. We deal with, the I'm going to be my father. We deal with the young Zeke, and we have 2 new ones that we introduce in there as well. So
are we ever going to see like a convergence of Zekes where Zeke is finally complete, where he becomes a one Zeke?
I don't think so.
No, he's gonna be psychotic and for the rest of the issues. There's gonna be more and more Zekes, the infinite Zekes.
Now, if I am going towards the late 40s, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm going towards there, and I haven't figured that shit out yet. So, I don't see, based on my heroes who are in their 50s and 60s, they haven't figured that shit out either. So.
Well, it's up to us to innovate, right? It's on us, right? We got to invent some shit. All right. We're coming up on the the hour 15, so I'm probably gonna
past hour.
Right.
We always do.
Yeah. Well, it's Travis and we could just talk.
I know.
Enjoy talking. But I'm probably gonna cut it off here. All of you guys gotta go check out Granite State Punk.
Yes.
It's a fantastic one-off that's become a continuous series, because it was always going to be a continuous series, but we didn't sell it that way, right?
Yeah. And if you don't have the funds right now to back it, or if you're waiting to back it once it comes out from Scout, please share it. It's not funded yet, but it's super close. It's a little over $800 to go. 7 days left. Travis does so much for the indie comics community. He works really hard. He cares about his comics and making comics in general. He supports so many people. So show him some love. If you can't back it yourself, please share it out and help get the word out.
Yeah, I just let her do it, and it was good.
See what happens when you let me talk?
It's very rare.
Although I would say it's a roll of the dice.
Right.
I could make coherent sentences, or maybe not.
And mispronounce Sean Gordon Murphy's name, right?
So it's one or the other.
So thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the bell for notifications to find out when we go live next.
And tune into the frequency.
We'll see you next time.